Moving on into other news, though, Xbox states that games on Game Pass see a decline in sales. Let me just get through this first because I know we got some stuff to say about this. Zacavalanche is already losing it. The confirmation is included as a part of the UK Competition and Market Authority's provisional report on Microsoft's $70 billion acquisition. $70 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The statement appears to contradict comments made by Phil Spencer in an interview in 2018 where he claimed that Game Pass inclusion boosted sales. An Xbox spokesperson stated to IGN recently, after this whole thing came out, that we're focused on helping game creators of all sizes maximize the total financial value they receive through Game Pass. Each game is unique, so we work closely with creators to build a custom program to reflect what they need, ensure they are compensated financially for their participation in the services, and allow room for creativity and innovation. As a result, the number of developers interested in working with Game Pass continues to grow. What are your thoughts on this, Zach?
Yeah, okay. No, duh. Hello. Of course, sales are going to be decreased at the very least while the game is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer because anybody who has Game Pass is going to be like, yeah, I'll just play it on Game Pass. I'm just going to play it on Game Pass.
Right.
Now, long term, are they saying that long term the sales are down?
I believe it was over the first 12 months.
Okay. Well, over the first, if it's on Game Pass for 12 months, then obvious that's a duh, no duh.
Yeah.
Obviously the sales are going to be down. People like us, though, sometimes we don't get to a game before it leaves Game Pass, and we go, oh darn, it left Game Pass, and we buy it anyways. So it seems kind of, like kind of a no-brainer to me. They're obviously invested in making sure that game developers who put their games on Game Pass are getting financially compensated. They're going to do that because otherwise game developers aren't going to want to be on Game Pass.
Right. Microsoft, Xbox in particular, I mean, it's all their risk that they're taking because they're paying for these games to be on Game Pass, obviously. And it's crazy because I see people fighting because they're like, oh, game developers need to be getting paid for this. And we're like, of course they're getting paid for it. But, you know, the question is are they getting paid enough? Are they possibly losing money that they could be making had they not put their games on Game Pass? But the biggest thing I see is people are upset because, especially if you guys are into the console wars, it's disgusting and ugly, and I despise the console wars. But
guys, seriously, let's just play video games and have fun.
But people are upset because it contradicts something that Phil Spencer had said years before. And I read what he said. I didn't write it down here, but the idea was Game Pass gives more people an opportunity to experience these games, and therefore that opens up the door for those games to be purchased. Not to mention there's DLCs that aren't on Game Pass that if you wanted to play the DLC, you have to purchase, or in-game currencies and things like that, depending on the game. But I honestly think when a game leaves Game Pass, wouldn't you expect them to see a rise in sales for those games? Because people,
I mean, if you think, okay, I guess it could go one of two ways. Okay, it could go one of two ways. Either people love it on Game Pass, and when it goes off Game Pass, everybody's like, "Oh, we gotta buy it because it was so good." It's so good
on sale when it goes off Game Pass,
right? And it's on sale. We gotta get it because it was so good, right? Or hear me out. Your game sucked, and nobody liked it on Game Pass, and therefore, when it goes off of Game Pass, nobody buys it because everybody was like, "No, that game sucked."
Right, and that's kind of what I thought that the Xbox spokesperson was kind of saying, that they build a custom program to reflect what the company needs. And maybe they look at it and go, this game's probably not going to do that great, so here's what we're going to compensate you for. Or maybe there's a clause in there that if a game does better than expected,
Get so many
that
downloads or whatever.
that's like, okay, well, we'll pay you the difference then for that.
Hey, any Xbox insiders that know how that process works, hit us up.
Yeah,
Let us know.
we'd love to
Let us
know.
know in the comments.
Microsoft's
We'd love to
pretty
know.
they're pretty tight-lipped when it comes to that kind of stuff. But with this whole lawsuit going on over in the UK, and they're going to have one here in the US as well, they're fighting hard to get Activision, and we kind of stay away from that subject because it's just such a convoluted topic, and it's just so
and there's just so much
muddied.
so
But
much
we're
negativity.
going to be seeing some dirt coming out on both sides of the Sony side. Sony's fighting it, and we're going to see some dirt coming out from the Microsoft side. So
of course,
this isn't unexpected. Obviously, I never thought that games were selling copies while also being on Game Pass. It's just like any other service that you stream stuff from.
Sales are going to be down.
You think if John Wick goes straight to HBO Max instead of theaters, or at the same time as theaters, do you think people are going to, go spend $15 for a movie ticket, or you think they're just going to lounge on their couch, eat some popcorn, and watch John Wick?
Exactly.
I mean, come on. Obviously, the sales are going to go down, but I bet you $20 HBO pays the company for that privilege.
I bet you anything. You're absolutely right.
Anyways, I digress.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's what are you gonna do?